That one of two night games in the conference today. The other is Michigan State and Nebraska. Look at Memorial Stadium this morning. The first ever time that the homestanding Huskers enter November, having already lost 6 games. Need to win out to avoid missing a bowl game for just the third time since 1969. And obviously won't be easy against a team that comes in undefeated. Here's Matt Davison.
Thanks, Dave. At 6 o'clock Central Time today, Nebraska will host Michigan State here in Lincoln. And this is a game where both teams are getting key positions back on the offensive side. For Nebraska, Nick Gates will start at right tackle, and Tommy Armstrong will be back under center for the Big Red. And for Michigan State, Jack Allen will be back at the center position. And this will mark just the first time since the second game of the season that Michigan State will have their offensive line intact. Finally, Dave, I want to take you back just 12 months ago. Michigan State was 7-1 and ranked 7th in the college football playoff poll. Nebraska was 8-1 and ranked 13th in that same poll. Since that time, Michigan State is 12-1 and searching for a national championship, and Nebraska just 4-9 during that time. What a difference a year can make. Let's go back to you in the studio, Dave.
That is for sure. I mean, Stanley, the Huskers relegated to the role of spoiler here.
Yeah, and it's important for them to salvage this season and find something to rally around. And right now, you get an undefeated Michigan State coming in. At the end of the year, you've had maybe an undefeated Iowa. So here's an opportunity for Nebraska, sitting at 3-6 right now, probably not going to get into a bowl game, to do something significant, to sort of save Coach Riley's first year. And the best way to do that is to knock off one of the big dogs that are hoping, Coach, to get into the playoff.
Yeah, no doubt, Stanley. And for Michigan State, I think we've all been waiting this year to see them make a turn, just like Ohio State made a turn against Penn State and Rutgers. People outside the Big Ten footprint, they understand Nebraska's struggling. They may even know Nebraska lost to Purdue last week. I think when you look at Michigan State, Stanley, they're one of the undefeated teams that's ranked behind 2 one-loss teams. And I think their season so far is one of those reasons. And I think time's running out. I think they have to look impressive today. They obviously have to win the game because I think everyone's looking at Michigan State. I do think this, the offensive line being healthy for the first time since the Oregon game is really going to help. But again, they're in this box, right? They're a really good team, but winning's not enough. And at this time of year, winning probably isn't enough. And that's what they're facing.
4 wins by 8 or fewer points. That's the most of any team in the top 10. And you're right. I mean, the perception game is huge. I think the thing that works in their favor is the committee last year showed a willingness to essentially wipe the slate clean every week, that you weren't slotted in based on where you were the week before. So if you do win impressively, you can impress the committee and improve your perception with that group. So, Howard, then the question becomes, what do they need to do just that? What does Michigan State need to do to win impressively?
Well, I think one of the things that's really been missing from this offense all year on a consistent basis is the ability to run and the ability to dominate the game with the run game, and they haven't been able to do that. And yes, it's been about the injuries, it's been about the inconsistency and not being able to have a healthy running back. But the reality is, we go back to last year and you think about Jeremy Langford and what he meant to this team running the football when the Big Ten season started. He really took off. Now that they're getting a much healthier offensive line, they're getting their backs back, they've got to roll with the hot hand. But if this team can really start to control the line of scrimmage on the offensive side of the ball, now all of a sudden it's starting to look like a dominant team again. Because, yes, they can get better defensively, but the way they're throwing the football right now with Cook, this would be a team that nobody wants to face.